So in other words, the plants coming out of this bucket are somewhere down there about 6-7 buckets right now.
Yeah.
So when we clean out in December, we've got roughly 35 to 40 feet from the tip of the plant all the way back to that bucket that it's in. Each week we go along and break 2 or 3 branches off the bottom. This was the last cluster, this was the last one that got picked here this week. So it's always this bottom cluster that ripens first. Each one of these is about a week's growth. So you're putting on a new blossom, like here, every week. These were on about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and so forth.
Yeah.
So you got about 7-8 weeks growth on the whole plant, what you see. All your goodies are right here from that spread about 3 foot. Then we get, we'll pick tomorrow. And if we need tomatoes bad, anything that's got any little color on, we pick. And as you guys know, sometimes you get some that are kind of green, but they'll ripen. It's not a problem once they start. They're grown in perlite. This comes from a volcanic rock or ash that's processed. So each December when we clean out, we'll go along and we'll cut all the vines off, snip the tops here. We'll have the tomatoes all harvested off. And then we carry these all out in the spreader and haul them in the field. We cut the vines up in 5-foot sections, haul them out, and we take all the buckets and put all the old perlite in the spreader and haul that out. So then we just clean up, scrub out the buckets, put in new perlite, and start with 2 new little seedlings. So these plants were seeded on the 1st of December. Last 1st of December.
Okay. There's 2 in each.
2 in each bucket, correct. And we got to rewind hooks then when we take everything out. We got to take the old line off if there's any left. Clean everything up. Everything gets disinfected with bleach, most everything. And then we rewind. We got to put about 35 winds on there, which gets us at approximately 35 feet to carry these out through the year. They get a clip put on every week. You just put one on here yesterday. Now next week this will be up about here. So you'll get that next clip put on, and then I got a couple granddaughters, so they'll take the old clips off and we'll disinfect them and reuse them. And then we got to go through, we got to hook every week, hook the clusters up, and if you don't, what happens is this cluster will collapse when it gets to be about this size, and then when that kinks over, it's just like taking a garden hose, and they just turn to crap. So what you hear leaching into here, they just got fed. And here's your dripper. They get fed every half hour. On sunny days, about 3 minutes. On days like this, more like 2 minutes. But it's just a drip for that 2-3 minutes every half hour during daylight hours. And then you got an overflow in this pipe, or in this bucket, there's a pipe. And I'll show you when we get up to the other end, the inside of that bucket. But it can only get up that much water in there. Then it overflows into the gray pipe, drains into that reservoir.
How many tomatoes does each plant produce, roughly?
Well, last year I was, where was I? Right at 47. That was the best year I ever had. Pounds per plant.
Okay.
And we're about a ton ahead of last year's at this point in time. So we're kind of hoping we can get to that 50, which I know is possible, but you really got to have a phenomenal year. And these do a heck of a lot better when you got cool days like this and like the summer has been so far. I can take a 95-degree day here and there, but when I can't get the temperature down to that 62 at night, that kills me. The plants don't shut down. If you get 2 weeks of that kind of weather, you come back in here and you're not going to see all this nice green. It's going to be yellow blotches on the leaves and only maybe 1 tomato on a cluster. And when it gets that hot, you'll get these plants down to you can only count 6-7 tomatoes from here to the top. And I like to see just like this. There's one got picked here, 3, 3, 3, 3, all the way up. That's when it's doing its best as it can do. There's a hive, a hive lasts approximately 5 to 6 weeks. And then when they start deteriorating and died off. The workers are only good for 4 or 5 weeks and they just die off. So we order a new hive, and that comes out of Michigan.
And how many bees come in each hive?
It varies. Sometimes you'll pop that open and look at them, and there's probably 60, 70 bees, too many. So then you gotta monitor them. Only make sure only so many get out, or they beat the heck out of the blossoms, and they beat them up so bad that they'll drop off.